Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session. We'll be starting in a few minutes, sharp at 4. Till then, please be patient. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session. This session is in continuation with our basics of technical analysis series. Before this session, previously we discussed the basic candlestick patterns. You can find that video on our YouTube channel. This is in continuation with that. Today we'll be discussing advanced candlestick patterns. And we today have with us a research analyst, Karan Pai, to take you through this session. So let's get started, Karan.
Thank you for the introduction. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us in our second session of Candlesticks 101, where we'll be discussing candle patterns, which basically have more than one candle. So, last week we had discussed about single candle patterns, and we'll be running through those patterns as well. So, इससे पहले कि हम लोग स्टार्ट करें, एक इम्पोर्टेंट नोटिफिकेशन है जो हम लोग देना चाहते हैं, दैट इज रिसेंटली थोड़े केसेस हमारे ध्यान में आए हैं जहाँ पे few people are pretending to be employees of Axis Securities, and they seem to be giving out recommendations, giving out calls by adding the people in some WhatsApp group for a remuneration. So एक बात मैं बहुत क्लियर करता हूँ कि as a research analyst, ठीक है, nobody is, I mean, people who are associated with the company, they are not allowed to have separate groups and give out recommendations for remuneration. So कभी भी अगर आपको कोई अप्रोच करे ये बोल के कि मैं एक्सेस सिक्योरिटीज का एम्प्लॉय हूँ, ऐसे सब, सो प्लीज बी वेयर. सबसे पहले तो हमारे जितने भी कस्टमर केयर हैं वहां पे आप जाके एक बार नोटिफाई कर दीजिए उनको कि समथिंग ऑफ दिस इज हैपनिंग, एंड वो हम लोग को भी हेल्प करेगा टू फिल्टर आउट.
So, guys, as in continuation to what Karan is saying, none of our employees, either the senior employees or anyone working on a junior level, is entitled to run his own group or own advisory or anything. Neither is it permitted, nor anyone does it. If anything of that kind is happening with regards to fund management or signals being given out, it would be done through official Access Securities handle. It would be there on the social media, or they would be mentioned on our website. Do be very aware of what is the kind of email address that is coming across to you. Our email address ends at accesssecurities.in. So we've seen events wherein one of the I is missing in securities, or it's .org or .app, nothing of that kind. Anything that comes out from Access will be through the official communication channels, either the Twitter handle, LinkedIn, or the website, or an official mailer. No individual, however senior in the organization, is entitled or permitted to run his own channel for advisory or fund management. And there is no one who does that. You may hear of names of senior technical research heads in the company who are running the channels, which has come to our notice. We've already flagged it, but there's nothing of that kind which is happening. So be aware of this. This is for information. Please be careful on this.
या सो एक काम करते हैं, हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं विद या श्योर श्योर. सो जस्ट फॉर द सेक ऑफ कन्वीनियंस, डिलीवरी जो होगी हमारी वो हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश दोनों में होगी. सो प्लीज bear with us because we have to maintain a balance. So we'll start off with what we covered in our previous session. So सबसे पहले this was basically the flow wherein we introduced what a candle pattern is or what a candlestick is. Then we went through the anatomy as to how a candle pattern or how a candlestick is formed. And then we took a look at single candlestick patterns, and that is where we stopped. So today we'll be looking at multiple candlestick patterns, and as we go through the single candlestick or the multiple candlestick patterns, we will yeah we will make sure that we inform you which particular candle pattern is bullish, which particular candle pattern is bearish.
Guys, just to confirm, are you all seeing the slides change, or are we still on the first slide? Can somebody please type it on a message? Okay, I think there is a delay. Fine, I see that's been taken care of. Please proceed, Karan.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll go about starting, and so the first part that we would like to cover is इंट्रोडक्शन टू कैंडल पैटर्न. सो जैसे हम लोगों ने लास्ट टाइम भी बोला था, सो कैंडल पैटर्न और कैंडल स्टिक इन जनरल, जो नाम आता है उसका, दैट इज यू नो we all will be familiar with candles and all those things. So कैंडल की अगर आप बॉडी देखोगे, देयर इज अ बिग वैक्स बॉडी एंड ऊपर जो है विक होता है जहाँ पे हम लोग आग लगाते हैं. सो या जिससे हम कैंडल को जलाते हैं. सो अगर आप एक कैंडल स्टिक को देखोगे, इट रिजेंबल्स अ कैंडल. सो एक जो रियल बॉडी होती है, बट यहाँ पे जो रियल बॉडी होती है, दैट इज बेसिकली द डिफरेंस बिटवीन दी ओपन एंड द क्लोज प्राइस. उससे हम लोग एक कैंडल की रियल बॉडी बनाते हैं, एंड देन जो लो एंड हाई होता है उसे प्लॉट करके विक्स बनते हैं. यहाँ विक्स आर ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज शैडो. सो इट इज यूज्ड इंटरचेंजेबली. सो विक्स या शैडो, दे मीन द सेम. So when we look at a candle, we get 4 data points, that is open, high, low, and close. Then we came on to the candlestick anatomy, जहाँ पे हम लोगों ने explain किया था what sort of candle is a bullish candle, what sort of candle is a bearish candle, and इसे कैसे identify करते हैं. So I hope you guys are well versed with it. अगर आपको इसका detailed explanation चाहिए, what I would suggest is watch the video that we put out last week, and वो आपको help करेगा. Then the single patterns that we went through was a doji, a hammer, hanging man, inverted hammer, shooting star. I'll be very quick with this. So doji की अगर मैं बात करूँ, no real body, fix on either side, basically indicating a tug of war between bulls and bears. ठीक है. अगर मैं डोजी के बारे में बोल रहा हूँ, मतलब मार्केट इनडिसीजन में है, बुल्स एंड बेयर्स दोनों फाइट कर रहे हैं, एंड बोथ टेंड टू कम एट वन पॉइंट. एंड अगर आप देखोगे, ओपन और क्लोज एक ही होगा, अपर विक लोअर विक होगा. Then indication अगर बोलो तो it tells possible indecisiveness, या in some cases it can also be a kind of reversal. So वो हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे explain किया था. gravestone doji में क्या है, dragonfly doji में क्या है, वो हम लोगों ने explain किया था. And based on the candle formation, based on the wick, we tried to explain to you what the market psychology is at this point.
So, okay, I think there is an issue with the change of slides. Just a minute.
Okay, so
Guys, sorry for the apologies for the technical difficulties. I think now the slides are in the presentation mode.
Yeah.
Karan, continue.
Yeah, so just to confirm, you guys are able to hear us, you guys are able to see the slides change. Yeah, those who are live on YouTube, please type in the chat box. Yeah. So we'll go with single candlestick pattern, जो भी हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे last time explain किया था, हम लोग बस वही cover कर रहे हैं. So doji जब भी हम बोले, upper and lower wick रहता है उसको, and open और close जो है एक ही level पर होता है. So that is a standard doji. Then we looked at gravestone doji and dragonfly doji जब भी हम लोग explain कर रहे थे. We also went through what is a selling tail, what is a buying tail. Basically अगर gravestone doji जैसा pattern है, मतलब the market was trying to go higher, but the bears they came in control, pushed the bulls away, and market जो था वो तकरीबन, market जब मैं बोलता हूँ, I mean the underlying, whatever we are analyzing, correct, वो जो था वो close हुआ था open के पास. So basically अगर आपको इमेजिन करना है, कंटिन्यूअस अप ट्रेंड रहा, एंड देन टुवर्ड्स द end of the trend you see this kind of pattern. Matlab, it was another day where the market tried to move higher, but the bears took over, and then we saw a downmove. Similarly dragonfly doji अगर आप देखोगे, मतलब the bulls took control. And अगर आपको इसको properly imagine करना है, imagine a situation where we are continuously going down, and then you see a pattern like this. मतलब this ये जो tails है यहाँ पे, in case of a gravestone doji, they indicate strong buying interest. And अगर dragonfly doji देखोगे, in a picture perfect scenario, now one thing that you have to always keep in mind is, एक picture perfect scenario होता है जो books में explain करते हैं, and then is the real world wherein we try to look at real charts. ठीक है. So in a picture perfect scenario, gravestone doji is normally seen at the top, dragonfly doji is normally seen at the bottom. अभी आपको ये आइडेंटिफाई कैसे करना है? ग्रेवस्टोन डोजी में द बेयर्स आर इन कंट्रोल, इट रिजेंबल्स अ ग्रेवस्टोन, सो दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड द ग्रेवस्टोन डोजी. वहीं पे ड्रैगनफ्लाई डोजी है जहां पे द बुल्स आर टेकिंग कंट्रोल. Then we looked at hammer with small body, long lower wick, long lower shadow or lower wick, and no upper wick. So basically, again, this is you can take a screenshot if you want to understand the formation. We'll just quickly run through. Then we went on to hanging man, and now we will look at something. Yeah. Now we will look at the key. The
So what was covered till now, guys, was candlestick patterns which are formed by a single pattern, single candle, a single candlestick pattern like a gravestone doji or a hammer. These are all patterns which are formed by just one single candle. The form it is just one single candle which is looked at. Now we're looking at candlestick patterns which are a combination of two or more candlesticks, right? So current,
yes. So when we look at multiple candle patterns, always remember there are two candlesticks in play. जब मैं बोलूँ two candlesticks, it is basically the price action of 2 days, correct? So यहाँ पे the first and the most common multiple candle pattern is going to be a bullish or bearish engulfing. अभी जब मैं engulfing बोलूँ, now observe the images that are there on the right hand side of the screen. The first one, अगर आप देखोगे, it's a small red candle, and उसके बाजू में अगर आप देखोगे, there is a large green candle. Now ये क्या बताता है? The previous session was negative and current opening, मतलब say for example ये red candle कल के session में बना था and ये green candle जो है आज के session में बना है, ठीक है? So आज market negative sentiment के साथ ही open हुआ, मतलब कल का जो negative sentiment था वो आज के दिन में भी carry हुआ. But then the bullish momentum was so strong that towards the end of the session, market एकदम fast ऊपर गया. And now observe the close of the current candle, ठीक है? ऊपर जाने के बाद it did not revert back. यहाँ पे आपको selling tail दिखाई नहीं देगी because the bulls took control and stayed in control till the end of the session. So ये क्या बोलता है कि अभी आप अगर आपको इसे पिक्चर परफेक्ट सिनेरियो में इमेजिन करना है, you have to imagine a falling market, wherein we have had a series of lower low lower high patterns. मतलब ये रेड कैंडल है, इसके पहले 5 दिनों में भी देयर वर सिमिलर रेड कैंडल्स, लोअर लो बन रहा था, एंड देन वन डे द नेगेटिव सेंटिमेंट कंटिन्यूज, द मार्केट ओपन्स ऑन अ नेगेटिव नोट, द बुल्स कम इन एंड स्टे देयर, correct? So stay that जब ये bulls when they come in they stay, they show their that they are in control, and this is normally an indication of a reversal. मतलब यहाँ से आप कंटिन्यूअसली नीचे जा रहे थे एंड द नेक्स्ट डे द बेयर्स वर आउट ऑफ द मार्केट, द बुल्स वर इन. Now इसका exact opposite is a bearish engulfing. Okay, now we completely invert the scenario. The market sentiment was positive. Green पे green candles बने जा रहे हैं, good momentum, everything. And the positive sentiment is so much that we see a gap up open, and that is when the bears step in and they stay there till the end. So that is why if you see there are no wicks, I mean there could be wicks, but you will not see something like that we saw in gravestone doji or a dragonfly doji, correct? मतलब you will not see selling tails or buying tails. So ये चीज आपको ध्यान रखनी है. This clearly indicates that there is a shift in the sentiment. There is a shift in the market participants. The market participants who are bearish are probably becoming bullish, or the bullish participants, they are entering so strong that the bears are going out. So it is basically change in hands. अगर आप यहाँ पे देखो, the sentiment is changing from being when I'm talking about a bullish engulfing, the sentiment is changing from being bearish to being bullish. And when I'm talking about a bearish engulfing, the sentiment is going from being bullish to bearish. So basically, these candles, they indicate that the opposite party, or in case of a bullish engulfing, the bulls are entering and they are staying there. And वहीं पे अगर मैं invert bearish engulfing की बात करूं, then the bears are entering and they are staying there.
So guys, for the engulfing candle, we would only look at the real body of the candle. What do I mean by real body? The area between the open to the close. So the body of the next day has to completely engulf. It has to completely cover the body of the previous candle. That is what the bullish or the bearish engulfing candle pattern stick means. If you do have the chart open, we could just try and show you certain examples.
So we'll
Go to
try.
RT drugs.
Now, bear in mind, we are just showing you examples. These are by no means a recommendation or anything.
Guys, these are, we reiterate, these are no recommendations. These are just to give you an idea of how the pattern looks like and what it looks like. So let's say I come to the pattern, which is, I think it was around the March or no, not this. So there are quite a lot. I want to show you all a very clean and clear example. So if we see this, guys, let's see this. Okay, since to make it more clear for you, let me mark the candles as green, and so green are bullish candles and red are bearish candles. So if you see here, the market has been going down and this candle is a negative candle. The close is at 317.10. The next day, the market opens lower at 315.50. But then the sentiments are so strong that the market closes way higher at 368.25. So if you see the real body, that is from open to close, this portion has been completely covered or engulfed by this bullish candle. So this is a bullish engulfing pattern. And what happens after that? You see the market is down, the bullish engulfing pattern, the market is just rallied after that. Similarly, let's look out for an example which is a bearish. Okay, I see one. So coming to this, guys, either we could see here this pattern or this pattern, either of these patterns. So let's come to this pattern. That is around 2nd of June 2022. The market was bullish. The market was rallying for last 5 days. It closed at 442.25. The next day, the market opened higher, 442.95. But then the bullish sentiment could not sustain and it was sold out. And if you see, the body of this green candle is completely covered or engulfed by this red candle. So it's engulfed by a bearish candle, hence a bearish engulfing pattern. And what happened after that? The market just lost it and it dropped down. So usually the bearish or the bullish engulfing patterns is either in the middle after range or after at the top or the bottom of the formation. Right, so you see here, same thing. You had very good buying sentiments. 3 days the market's been rallying. Close at a green candle. Again, you have a doji pattern here. The body is small, engulfed by a bearish candle. A completely bearish candle, market drops after that. So I hope this is clear with regards to what is a bullish pattern, what is a bullish engulfing, and what is a bearish engulfing pattern.
Yeah. So just to reiterate, यहाँ पे आप अगर देख सकते हो, ये हम लोग क्लासिक एग्जांपल आपको बता रहे हैं, मतलब रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल्स आपको बताने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं बुलिश एंड बेरिश एनगल्फिंग का. सो ये सिचुएशन है, ये जो कैंडल्स बन रहे हैं, आई विल जस्ट ट्राई एंड मार्क देम. ठीक है. नॉनदलेस अगर आप ये ट्रेंड अगर देख पा रहे हो, देयर हैज बीन अ कंटीन्यूअस अप ट्रेंड राइट फ्रॉम 30th मार्च से लेके आप 7th अप्रैल तक देख सकते हो. स्मूथ अप ट्रेंड रहा है, हायर हाई हायर लोस बन रहे हैं, गैप अप्स हो रहा है, सब कुछ हो रहा है. नाउ जस्ट ऑब्जर्व व्हाट हैज हैपेंड ऑन द 8th ऑफ अप्रैल. करेक्ट. ये 7th ऑफ अप्रैल को आप देख रहे हो कि यहाँ पे काइंड ऑफ शूटिंग स्टार लाइक पैटर्न बन रहा है. सो बेयर्स ने एक साइन दिया कि वी आर प्रोबेबली टेकिंग ओवर. But what happened the next day was कि sentiment इतना positive है कि you can observe that the close on 7th of April is around 519. Next day का just observe the open, it is 522. मतलब जो positive sentiment है, that is trying to there is a continuation, there is a possible continuation that the market is trying to continue the bullish sentiment. But हो क्या रहा है? The bears have come in control and they stayed in control. अगर आप यहाँ पे observe करो तो आप one might argue that there are wicks. But just compare the size of the wick to the size of the real body. That is the game. मतलब आप देख सकते हो कि close negative में था. थोड़ी profit booking and all, that is all possible. But profit booking से you will not find selling tails something like this जो उसके prior candle में बना था. So what you have to look for is the size of the candle to the size of the wick. So इसका exact inverse हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे observe किया था. Yeah. सो यहाँ पे ऑब्जर्व किया था. सो अगर आप देख सकते हो कि ट्रेंड जो था वो काफी टाइम से नेगेटिव था. एंड यहाँ पर भी इफ यू ऑब्जर्व देयर इज अ माइल्ड गैप डाउन द नेक्स्ट डे. इफ यू सी द क्लोज ऑन द प्रीवियस सेशन वाज 317 एंड नेक्स्ट डे का ओपन देखिए इट इज अराउंड 315. मार्जिनल है बट नॉनदलेस वहां पे गैप है. एंड देन द बुल्स कम इन एंड हाउ एंड देन दे स्टे टिल द एंड ऑफ द डे. अगर आप कैंडल का साइज देखो, विक का साइज देखो, उसका प्रोपोर्शन आप देखो, करेक्ट, सो दैट कंटिन्यूअस, दैट tells you that the bulls are here to stay, and then वो trend continue हुआ.
So for the engulfing candle, guys, as I said, all that matters is the body of the candle. So the body of the current candle completely engulfs or covers the body of the previous candle. And the combination of them, if it's a bullish candle which is covering the previous candle, it's a bullish engulfing pattern. And with a bearish candle that covers the previous candle, that's a bearish engulfing pattern. We do not take the wicks into consideration.
Yeah. So now going on, आपने morning star and evening star देखा होगा. So what do these candle patterns tell you? So understand this. Just look at the candle pattern formation, multiple candle pattern formations here. So जो first वाला आप देख रहे हो, just observe this. Now one might say कि ये morning star and evening star होते कब है? So the way I used to remember this when I was in my learning phases, morning normally indicates the start of a day. Correct. So जब ये morning star candle pattern बनता है, that probably suggests a start of a trend. Correct, a start of an uptrend. So that is why it is the morning star pattern. Now ये बहुत crude है, ये शायद आपको हर कोई इसके साथ एग्री करे नहीं करे, इट्स क्वाइट आर्ग्यूएबल, बट द पॉइंट इज दिस इज व्हाट हेल्प मी रिमेंबर व्हाट द कैंडल पैटर्न वाज. करेक्ट. अभी इवनिंग स्टार एट द सेम टाइम आप एक ही ध्यान में रखना है कि इवनिंग इंडिकेट्स द एंड ऑफ द डे. करेक्ट. So it is somewhere in between वो transition जो होता है day and night का, so that is when you practically end the day. So that is how I remember that evening star जब बनता है, that is the end of the bull trend or a uptrend. So this is what helped me remember whether morning star is a bullish candle pattern or evening star is a bullish candle pattern or bearish candle pattern. ये confusion से अगर आपको clearly बचना है, of course today God forbid I'm in a much better position to understand the candle psychology and know whether it's a bullish candle pattern or a bearish candle pattern. So यहाँ पे कैसे होता है कि the first candle is bearish candle pattern. Now it's a bearish candle followed by a second candle where there is an indecision and a third bullish candle. नाउ एक आपको चीज ध्यान में रखनी है कि जब भी हम लोग एनगल्फिंग पढ़ रहे थे, देयर वाज दिस कंटिन्यूएशन ऑफ द सेंटिमेंट. करेक्ट. इफ यू आर लुकिंग एट अ मॉर्निंग स्टार, अभी इसको आप ऐसे इमेजिन कीजिए कि देयर इज अ सीरीज ऑफ रेड कैंडल व्हेन यू आर लुकिंग एट अ मॉर्निंग स्टार. जो से फॉर एग्जांपल टुडे इज द 18th, सो हम लोग अज्यूम करते हैं ये जो है पहला वाला रेड कैंडल, दिस इज 16th. द फॉलोइंग कैंडल विच इज अ स्पिनिंग टॉप और indecisive candle pattern जो यहाँ पे बन रहा है, that is the 17th, and जो ये green candle है वो 18th का. ठीक है. So 16th के पहले के सारे candles जो है, जो trend है वो थोड़ा negative है, and then you come on to an indecision. मतलब there is a series of bearish candles, and on the 17th the bears are trying to take control, but then the bulls they step in, but they don't step in with full throttle. उन लोग step in करते हैं बस. So वहाँ पे कैसे होता है कि थोड़े बेयर्स होंगे जो अपना प्रॉफिट बुक कर लेंगे, थोड़े बुल्स होंगे जो नई पोजीशंस बनाएंगे, जिसकी वजह से एक इनडिसाइसिव कैंडल बनता है, एंड देन द नेक्स्ट डे द बुल्स दे गो इन फुल थ्रॉटल. सो आप एक इमेजिन कर लीजिए कि देयर इज अ डाउन मूव के बाद द बुल्स दे आर ट्राइंग टू हिंट दैट वी आर हियर, वी आर ट्राइंग टू एंटर. सो दैट इज व्हेन यू फॉर्म एन इनडिसाइसिव कैंडल एंड देन यू हैव अ बुलिश कैंडल. अभी इवनिंग स्टार में कैसे होता है कि आप अज्यूम कर लीजिए कि देयर हैज बीन अ कंटिन्यूअस अप ट्रेंड, ग्रीन कैंडल पे ग्रीन कैंडल बने जा रहे हैं, एंड देन द बेयर्स दे ट्राई टू स्टेप इन. That is when the bulls will start booking their profit, the bears they will start building their profit. But अभी भी यहाँ पर sentiment कुछ clear नहीं है, because it is not suggesting a proper bearish candle. But वो बोल रहा है कि okay, somewhere there is exhaustion. That is exactly what these indecisive candle patterns tell you. So exhaustion के बाद the next day is when the bears step in and they go all in. That is why you see a strong bearish candle in case of an evening star candle pattern. Now for a minute or so we will halt here and we will take queries. ये दो हम लोगों ने candle patterns यहाँ पे complete किए हैं. One is a bullish and bearish engulfing pattern. Another one is a morning star and evening star candle pattern. यहाँ तक किसी को कुछ क्वेरी है, those who are connected with us via the YouTube channel, आप chat box में डाल दीजिए.
Guys, in the time being that you are put in the chat box, let me try to get you some examples of these morning and evening stars. It would not be a very clinical as per the textbook. this one coming because this would end up confusing people. Sorry, guys. So, guys, two of these patterns. Okay, it could be the morning star, right, Karan?
Yeah.
So you see that the market is down. There was selling coming in, but the selling was taken by the buyers. Not a very strong candle, but does show some kind of indication that there's a reversal. Next day, what do you see? The bulls just pump it up. Similarly, here, market has been going sideways to slightly down. Again, indecision here. Bulls step in, pump it up. Right? Uh, so we would not have very typical textbook patterns, just trying to show whatever. So if you see here, kind of a evening star as well, market's been rallying, there's indecision candle, push down, and then it goes down further. Right, so these candles per se, guys, are not exact symbols of, as we had said, please do refer to our previous webinar wherein we had said that these candles are not exactly reversal patterns. These are just flags or signal to understand the market psychology. What you need to know is, what you need to look at is what is the market been doing before the formation of this pattern. And then this pattern is just a flag. It's just a watch out signal. Okay, be on the watch. The market could continue. The market could go against every logic, every pattern, and still continue rallying and going in the opposite direction as per what has been written in the textbooks or what technical analysis follows. Market does what it has to do. These patterns try to capture the market psychology, and these are just patterns or flags for you to watch out and decide your further course of action. So at this point of time, will I get bullish on the stock? No, I might look at what is the market reacting to it after this, and that would have been beneficial for me. Because most of the people would want to get in the stock because you see the market is rallying for 5 days, 7 days, it's going sideways. You think it's a good time to get in. Right? The fear of missing out is what causes most of the losses for people. Here, I know candlesticks patterns. I know the market has been rallying. I see there's some exhaustion here. I want to see what the market is doing after that. But after that, the market goes down. Again, if you see here again, I have the evening star pattern. So will I continue? Will I see continue think the market goes down? It's just a watch out signal. Okay, watch out. Here, the market can reverse. And it did. Right? I have my own means and methods. I have my own technical analysis methods to get into the market, exit the market, book profits. We would be covering those things. This is right now the basics that we're touching upon.
Yeah, so as my colleague explained, around this zone, there have been multiple signals where, the prices were showing a bit of fatigue, correct? So, आप देख रहे हो कि every time the, underlying is trying to go up, there is some selling pressure that is, putting a cap on the bull's power. So, and then you see an evening star pattern, and it kind of gives you, that's it. Then the bulls, the bears, they step in. Even after that, the prices tend to go up. Now, in picture perfect scenario, this is what you call a consolidation. Abhi, if say for example, if one was to enter into a short position at any point of time, so आपको तब तक नहीं डरना है जब तक ये कैंडल का हाई नहीं निकलता. Now, why would I say that? Because this is where the bulls who were in control earlier, this is where they reconsidered their position. Correct. So they are still going to think that the bears are still in control. And are they wrong? Then no, उन लोग गलत नहीं है. So ये कैंडल पे जब बुल्स को लगा कि we should probably book profit, या ये जो मार्केट जो है वो hands बदल रहा है, जो it's going from being a bullish to a bearish trend. So this is the key candle for them. So जब तक the underlying does not break above this high of 2065. Now bear in mind, these are not recommendations, these are mere examples that we are trying to correlate with the theory. सो जब तक ये कैंडल के ऊपर नहीं जाता तो ओवरऑल सेंटिमेंट जो है नेगेटिव होगा. एंड अगर आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पे देन द बेरिशनेस इन द अंडरलाइंग इट कंटिन्यूड. सो दीज आर अ फ्यू एग्जांपल्स. एंड एज आई मेंशन्ड अर्लियर, हमने अभी 4 बेसिक मल्टीपल कैंडल पैटर्न्स जो है वो हम लोगों ने कवर किए हैं. इसमें अगर किसी को कुछ क्वेरी है, प्लीज पुट इट इन द चैट बॉक्स. वी वांट टू मेक श्योर दैट जो भी हम लोग डिलीवर करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं आप तक प्रॉपर्ली पहुंच रहा है. Okay, so till now we haven't received any query.
If there's any doubts, please put it up in the chat box. It would help us know what is being understood, what are the doubts, and maybe we could help clarify that.
Yeah. एंड अगर आपको लग रहा है कि पेस हाई है, प्लीज लेट अस नो, विल रिड्यूस द पेस. अगर आपको कुछ उस पर भी फीडबैक देना है, यू हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड वन और टू पॉइंट्स, विल बी मोर देन हैप्पी टू कवर दोस पॉइंट्स अगेन. All right. So, uh,
So, guys, as we see, there's no doubts. Hopefully, everyone's getting a gist of what we planning to say. So, continuing with the session.
yeah. So, taking it forward, the next candle pattern that we have is a three white soldier. Now, this, agar aap dekhoge, it is basically three bullish candles. Now understand the psychology. Whenever you're looking at a chart, we have been making one thing very clear. Whether you remember the name or no, you need to understand what the psychology of that pattern is. So, when you look at a three white soldier candle, it is basically three strong bullish candles. Abhi, understand what is happening here. एक दिन है, say for example 16th है, जहां पे you see a strong green candle. Next day थोड़ा profit booking या XYZ की वजह से the prices they open a bit lower, but then again the bulls step in. The third day the same scenario continues. So this is basically a continuation pattern. ये मतलब आपका अगर up move है या there is some sort of consolidation वहां से breakout हुआ and then there is a strong up move. So this is three white soldiers बोलते हैं इसे. So it is basically three consecutive bullish candles with the opening. ये अगर आपको इसका understanding चाहिए, these videos will be available on YouTube, but if you want to get a better understanding, if you want to read it, then you can take a screenshot of it and keep it with you. So opening within the body of the previous candle, so मैंने जैसे explain किया, open थोड़ा नीचे के side में हुआ, but then again the bulls they stepped in. स्मॉल और नो शैडोज. ऑफ कोर्स जब भी मार्केट ऊपर जाता है या स्ट्रॉन्ग ट्रेंड में रहता है, अ विक, अपर विक, इन केस ऑफ अ बुलिश अप ट्रेंड, एन अपर विक, अ लार्ज अपर विक इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी प्रॉफिट बुकिंग. करेक्ट? या सेलिंग टेल जिसे हम लोग बोलते हैं. अगर वो आ गया मतलब देयर इज अ बिट ऑफ एग्जॉशन हियर. बट अगर वो नहीं है and it's a strong bullish candle, then you can consider it as a part of the three white crows candle. And then there is a consistent upward movement. अगेन एक चीज मैं आपको बोलना चाहूंगा कि इसके पिक्चर परफेक्ट एग्जांपल्स आपको मिलने डिफिकल्ट है, बिकॉज एज वी सॉ इवन इन द मॉर्निंग स्टार, इवनिंग स्टार, बेरिश एनगल्फिंग, बुलिश एनगल्फिंग, इसके पिक्चर परफेक्ट सिनारियोज आपको मिलने बहुत ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट है. Because having three consecutive white days with the next candle opening within the previous candle's body, it's a bit difficult to find scenarios like this. But now if there is a candle pattern like this, okay, this is a three white soldier candle pattern. Now इसका exact opposite जो होता है उसे three black crows कहते हैं. So it is basically three bearish candles opening within the previous candle's body, small or no shadows. Again, because अगर यहाँ पे bearish candle के बाद if there is a lower wick, मतलब the market tried to continue moving lower, but then the opposing forces, it pushed it higher towards the close. So अगर lower wick नहीं है in case of three black crows, then it is considered as a bearish continuation pattern, and then it shows consistent downward movement. So in three white soldiers, in three black crows, one thing you have to remember is that wicks आपको छोटे दिखने हैं, मतलब there will be wicks, because obviously for there will be some intraday traders who might have entered just till the end of the session, correct? So अगर उन लोग भी अगर स्क्वायर ऑफ करेंगे तो एक थोड़ा तो प्रॉफिट बुकिंग की वजह से एक हाई से क्लोज के बीच में थोड़ा तो डिफरेंस आएगा. बट अगर आप देख रहे हो कि द upper wick in case of a three white soldier is twice the size of the real body, करेक्ट, देन ये पूरा कैंडल पैटर्न नेगेट हो जाता है बिकॉज ट्रस्ट था मार्केट में, बट देन ड्यूरिंग द डे समथिंग चेंज, किसी ने हाथ बदले, वट एवर इट इज, उसकी वजह से क्लोज जो था वो नेगेटिव नोट पे हुआ. So that is not something you want to see in a three white soldier pattern. And similarly three black crows की भी जब भी हम लोग बात करें, अगर इसमें lower wick आपको दिखता है, मतलब it is basically the sentiment was the overall market sentiment was negative, prices were trying to move lower, but then the opposing forces they came in and उसको ऊपर लेके गए. So these are a few things that you have to understand, especially when you're looking at these triple candle patterns. जो थ्री व्हाइट सोल्जर्स हैं, थ्री ब्लैक क्रोस है, उसमें अगर आपको विक्स दिखे, then it is a bit of a negation when it comes to formation of candle pattern. So एक क्वेश्चन है कि मॉर्निंग और इवनिंग स्टार्स आर रिलेटेड टू टाइम और जस्ट indication of reversal. So when we are talking about candle patterns, correct, इसमें time factor नहीं आता है. So what you have to take into consideration is the number of candles. अगर ये morning evening star अगर आपको 4 candles में आ गए, then it is a negation of the rules of the candle.
And then the time thing that Karan gave in is just a kind of an example to remember. It has nothing to do with timing. It's not that the evening star pattern happens in the evening and the morning star pattern happens in the morning. Trust me, it was just for Karan, so the way he remembers it. We have ways to remember, which we find it very simple, and we just try to give it out. If it helps, it helps. But it is a candlestick pattern. A candlestick pattern formed by 3 candles. It has got nothing to do with time. Now, these candlestick patterns could form on a daily time frame, on a weekly time frame, monthly, intraday, a lot of things. As we had said before, that the candlestick patterns, what we prefer would be the lowest time frame. That if you ask me personally as an investor or an analyst or a trader, I would not go anything below a 1 hour time frame, because what happens is as you go lower into that 15-minute, 3-minute, 5-minute time frame, there tends to be a lot of noise which distorts the patterns, and the patterns are not formed correctly. Right? There are a lot of machines trading, algos, a lot of things. But if you go into the higher time frame, that's a daily candle or a weekly candle, that's the summary of a big session. Right? So the daily candle is a summary of the entire session from 9:15 to 3:30. The weekly candle is a summary of those 5 sessions. So that gives you a better idea and better candlestick formation. Right? So nothing to do with time. It is just the formation of the pattern by 2, 3 or a single candlestick.
So when we are looking at candle patterns, all you have to see is what the bulls and the bears are doing. अगर indecision है, मतलब none of them are able to come to a conclusion. अगर continuation है, मतलब those who are in control are still in control. Reversal अगर कहीं पे दिख रहा है, then you have to understand one thing, that things are changing. There is a possible reversal. So that is what we try to understand from candle patterns.
And as Karan mentioned, it is a possibility that there might be a change. Sometimes when the market has got really positive sentiments and the market is really rallying, you might have 3 white soldiers and then the market might still rally. It might not reverse. It's just these candlestick patterns, I repeat. And as Karan says, it's just a probability, just an indication of a change which might occur. Not necessarily that the change has to occur. We do not want anyone going back and say, oh, that was said that 3 white candles, I sold off my stock or I shorted and then I went into loss. No. I am telling you again, this is just patterns for you all to look out for signals of change. It's just that candlestick patterns standalone would not help. It would be a mix of what has happened in the market before, what is happening in the pattern, and what is the reaction after. Right? This is just to make aware to the investors, to the traders, of what are the different ways in which you could read the market. So you could say this is one of the ways that you can read the market. You can understand what the market is doing.
So one example that I always like to give to most of the technical analysts or most of the technical traders is that consider chart reading as a balanced diet. मतलब कैसे होगा कि एक दिन अगर आपको कुछ जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आपका लंच या डिनर है, तो आप सिर्फ चावल खा के नहीं कर सकते हो, करेक्ट. सो चावल के साथ आपको दाल चाहिए, उसके साथ सब्जी चाहिए, उसके साथ अचार चाहिए. सो देन इट बिकम्स अ प्रॉपर मील, करेक्ट. सो देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन having only chapati and chapati bhaji. So always keep in mind, जब भी आप analysis वगैरह कर रहे हो, it has to be concurrent with multiple factors. जैसे वन ऑफ द एग्जांपल्स में जहां पे हम लोग इवनिंग स्टार वगैरह एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे, बाकी कैंडल्स भी आपको बोल रहे थे कि देयर इज एन एग्जॉशन. सो इवनिंग स्टार आपका चावल हुआ, बाकी जो कैंडल्स आपको बता रहे हैं वो आपकी दाल हुई, तो आपकी दाल चावल बन गई. दैट इज योर एनालिसिस. सो दिस इज नॉट वेरी प्रोफेशनल वे ऑफ एक्सप्लेनिंग, बट आई एम श्योर ये आपके ध्यान में रह जाएगा फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ.
Just adding to what Karan said, really a good example. Guys, just understand, we analysts are also normal people. This is how we remember and we connect with each other. We communicate to each other कि भाई ये ऐसा है, ये दाल खिचड़ी बन गई, ये ऐसे सिर्फ चावल नहीं खा सकते. So please don't take us literally. We would love some feedback on this, but don't take us literally. It's just a way of letting you know even we are normal people. It's just that we've been in the markets, we've done a study which is quite exhaustive, and the aim out here is to impart that information to you all. Right? I hope you all get the gist of what we're saying. If there are any other questions, I think because Karan, I think this is all that we have to cover for the day, right?
We just have one more candle
Yeah.
pattern, which is a Harami pattern, and then we'll be done. So यहाँ तक किसी को कुछ query है? So what we'll do is we'll cover the Harami pattern also, and Harami pattern I'll
Yes, Harami pattern, just understand, is just the inverse of an engulfing pattern. Exactly the inverse of an engulfing pattern. You all might have heard of an inside bar or something. So Harami bullish or bearish Harami is basically an inside candle. जहाँ engulfing हो गया, वहाँ inside candle हो गया. So a large candle, inside that a smaller candle, right? So it is just the opposite though. The engulfing was small candle, the body covered by the larger candle. Here there's a large candle and the body within the body of the large candle. That's about it.
So we'll understand what my colleague had to say with a proper example if we find one. But मैं आपको एक gist देता हूँ now. सबसे पहले question आपके mind में आएगा why this is called a Harami pattern. Now one thing you have to remember is that these candlesticks, they are Japanese. They have a Japanese origin. So in Japanese, a Harami means a pregnant lady. So if you look at this candle pattern, this actually resembles a pregnant woman, correct? So it is अगर आप एक side से देखोगे, it resembles a pregnant woman. So अभी इसका significance कैसा? Now how will you understand what this bullish or a bearish Harami है, चलता कैसे? Now जैसे हम लोगों ने देखा था, ये current green candle जो है, consider that as आज का candle, that is 18th का candle है, and the previous red candle is 17th candle. Now imagine a scenario where the market has been continuously falling, correct? यहाँ पर 17th को the bears, they were completely in control, काफी bearish thrust था, and they took control from the start, and they were there till the end. Now again, this is a strong bearish candle, but next day there could be a possibility of some positive news that might have come in when the Indian markets were shut. कुछ ऐसे global scenarios में हुआ रहेगा जिसके वजह से the sentiment overnight changed from being continuously bearish to suddenly bullish. Correct? So understand this. जब भी हम लोग candle patterns देखते हैं, you have to look at the psychology of what is happening at a particular price. Closing negative था, but it opened on a very positive note. Gap up open हुआ, close to close में बोल रहा हूँ, gap up open हुआ. So क्या हुआ कि opening जो था previous session के अंदर था, inside the candle था वो, inside the real body था, and then the bulls took over and it went higher. अभी यहाँ पर one might argue that it has not breached above the previous candle, but one thing you have to remember, when there is a series of red candles, correct, a bull who is trying to take control at this point, being able to close in positive in itself is a big deal. हो सकता है कि there was a possible war going on. Now I remember back in 2019 when there was this Trump and एक जो geopolitical scenario था between the US and North Korea, correct? So overnight, over tweets, things and sentiments used to change. So ऐसे scenario में, say for example, one country said something that we are going to do something terrible to the other country. So sentiment जो है market का change हो जाता है. But then if things de-escalate, overnight the sentiment is going to change. But because the sentiment is very volatile, even the bulls will not have enough thrust or enough confidence. So ऐसे time में this basically indicates a halt. Now one might argue कि इसका engulfing pattern के साथ कैसे relation है? नाउ एनगल्फिंग पैटर्न में हमने देखा था जब एक छोटा ग्रीन कैंडल है विच इज एनगल्फ्ड बाय अ बिग रेड कैंडल. सो मतलब दैट यूज्ड टू हैपन इन अ कंटिन्यूअस अपट्रेंड. ये जो हो रहा है दिस इज बेसिकली showing a halt or a termination of a bearish trend. That is why a bullish harami. So basically the inside candle is a bullish candle. Now we'll look at the exact opposite. Now this is a bearish harami. Again, bearish harami, if you see the previous candle is a strong green candle followed by a red candle. Now इसको अगर आपको imagine करना है, you have to look at a series of green candles. So basically higher high, higher low candle patterns बन रहे हैं, and this was formed in the previous session. Previous session where the bulls were in full control, they were continuously there till the end of the day. But then sentiments changed overnight. There was a gap down opening, and then the market fell. So one thing you have to remember is that you need to get a hold of what the psychology is telling at every candle pattern. So negative opening matlab something happened overnight when we were sleeping, correct, and uska ek negative sentiment hum logo next day prices mein dikhai diya. And if there is a negative opening and the bears are continuously in constantly in control till the end of the session, then that becomes a bearish harami, because bulls they have failed to come in and the bears have taken control and they have stayed in control, they have remained in control. आप जब भी कैंडल की बात कर रहे हो, सो एक चीज आपको हमेशा ध्यान में रखनी है. If you are looking at a candle pattern, one thing to remember is you have to analyze if the bulls or the bears they are there in control till the end, or they are a bit jittery. If they are a bit jittery, you will find wicks. You'll find wicks that are bigger the size of the real body of the candle. In that case, you know that the bears or the bulls or the market participants at this point are a bit jittery. But if they are in control, the wicks will be smaller because the number of participants who are a bit jittery or who are in only for their intraday trade or speculative trades, they will exit the position, because of which we might see small wicks. But overall, the bulls or the bears who are in control, they will show up in candle patterns like these. It's strong bullish or strong bearish candles.
Guys, just coming to the example so that it makes more clear, there are a couple of stocks I see are following these patterns. One of them, let's get into Asahi Glass today. Guys, I'm repeating, these are not recommendations. This is just to make you all aware of what a pattern looks like. As we've mentioned, that in these candle patterns, it is the body of the candle which is more important. So I'm hiding the wicks for now. So guys, if you see today's formation in Asahi India Glass is exactly like a bullish harami. You have a downside candle, and today's session closed positive within that within the bearish candle. Right? I'm hiding the wicks here for convenience purpose. It is not that we ignore the wicks. If I get the wicks, you all might get confused. So I'm just showing you all the body. Focus on the body here. Just see the previous image which I'm shown. So the entire body of today's session within the body of the previous session. Today's session being bullish and the previous session being bearish. So today's session is bullish inside previous session's candle. So bullish harami. Let's come to the bearish harami pattern. There's another stock. What's wrong? So we have Blue Dot Express, right? Guys, I don't even need to hide the wicks here. Very clear. Very clear. Let's do the same way. Let's hide the wicks and see the candlestick pattern. A bullish candle previous day, today's session bearish. Within yesterday's bullish candle, today's session bearish. So it's a bearish harami. See the images? Exactly. Split image of each other. Right? So this is what it is. So just wanted to give an example. Guys, I'm telling you again, this is no recommendations. This is only for education and to make you all clear. So I have a picture here. I wanted to show how it looks in the market, how the formations are made, so that you all have an idea of what to look out for. So two examples which I showed. This is the bearish harami, and the previous one was a bullish harami. Right, guys?
Yeah. So now with that out of the way, we are actually coming close to an end of our multiple candlestick patterns. There are a few more, but these are basically considered as the most important multiple candle patterns. Now, I'm not going to be explaining these things again. So this is a quick go through for all the candle patterns that we have discussed today, whether they are bullish or bearish. What do they indicate? Do they indicate a reversal or continuation? And then a few key features that they have. So those who of you who want a quick gist of what we have done, you can pause the video here. You can take a screenshot of this slide if that might help you. And we can comfortably say that we are done with a few major candle patterns. So one thing that we would like to re-emphasize is that you should never have an analysis stand alone on one parameter. As I explained to you that when you're having a meal, you want a balanced diet. You want to have a bit of fiber. You want to have a bit of carbohydrates. You want to have a bit of protein. It will. I mean, you will not get all those from one single food. I mean, one single constituent or one single item on your plate. So you need to mix and match, and uska mixing matching आप कैसे करोगे based on whatever parameters you are comfortable with. You can have it with a moving average. हो सकता है कि ये bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing आपके 200-day moving average के पास आए. So that is basically आपके पास दाल है, दाल चावल खाओ. And say for example ये आपका कोई कि फिबोनाची लेवल के पास भी आ गया. So you find a resistance cluster, you find a support cluster. आपकी दाल चावल सब्जी हो गई. So your meal is prepared. So that is how you basically do your analysis. So no one parameter will work best for you. It has to be always in a combination. It has to be seen, with multiple. You have to have multiple tools to analyze. But that said, अगर आप ज़्यादा ही उसमें tools add करोगे, then you will have analysis paralysis. Again, a real life example. अगर आप सब कुछ एक ही थाली में खाओगे तो you'll end up
But that's me
vomiting.
guys. You have an indigestion if you have too much of a little bit or too much
of everything.
portions or too much of varieties in one single go.
Yeah. So अगर आपको अचार खाना है आम का खाओ नींबू का खाओ दोनों मिक्स मत करो. So this is basically we'll come and so we'll conclude our session today. If you have any queries, we are here for another 2 or 3 minutes. So please type in your queries in the chat box. We'll be receptive. And अगर आपको कुछ और समझना है, then what I would suggest is please put it in the chat box. We'll be more than happy to create content that will help you become a better analyst, become a better trader per se.
So guys, this candlestick patterns that we covered is just a part of the whole. Okay, one of the books that we refer to is Candlestick Patterns by Steve Nissen. Candlestick patterns, as Karan mentioned previously, was a part of the Japanese technical analysis. Steve Nissen is the one who got it to the West, he made aware to the rest of the world. So that's a very nice book that most of us refer to. You could give a read to it, much better understanding. What we have covered here is the ones that we feel are quite important candlestick patterns to have a view on the market. It's not that this is the entire thing, there is more to it. We just try to cover whatever we could in the limited time that we have. Again, as I say, standalone, as Karan says, standalone analysis not possible. You need to mix and match it with other technical analysis tools or other patterns. And repeating myself again, none of the stocks shown are any kind of recommendations, right? Guys, I think we're done with for the day. We're here for another 5 minutes. Any kind of doubts that you'll have, please type it in the chat box. I am very sorry I can't unmute you all to avoid the confusion. Too many people speaking at the same time would lead us to nowhere. So any doubts that you'll have, put it on the chat box. People on WebEx, people on YouTube Live, we have the comment section open. We are monitoring that. Any comments over there, it's welcome. Also, guys, as we had mentioned previously, that the candlestick patterns that we're carrying, we had a couple of sessions on options. All these are a part of our drive towards educating or empowering the investors and the traders. There are more such technical analysis series to be followed. We would come up with something on the trend lines next week. Then we have something on the support and resistance, then a few indicators, famous indicators like RSI, MACD, and all. We'll be covering this over a period of time. And as we said, we are very much committed towards empowering our investors or traders with the kind of knowledge that would be required to trade or invest successfully in the market. So this, do watch out for this space. And as I mentioned, always subscribe to our YouTube and Twitter channels. Please like, repost. It would give us a lot of encouragement to continue doing this. If there is something that you would want us to change, some format of delivery or something, please feel free to put in your suggestions. Another 2 minutes, guys. Waiting for your doubts or any comments, if any. So, guys, I think there's nothing left for the day. So, thanks a lot for your time and participation. Thanks for taking time out from a busy day. It's a weekday that you'll have, and you're attending this session. So, thank you, Karan.
Yeah, so thank you all for joining in. Stay tuned. We'll be coming out with more content like this. And अगर आपको options के बारे में भी कुछ जानना है, we have 2 sessions that are already live, and you can go there. Me and my colleague, we try to cover every possible aspect of options that we can. And so see you all this Friday, wherein we'll be coming up with another webinar. So thank you for joining in. That's all for the day. Hope you guys have a good day. You guys have a good week.
So thank you, Karan, for giving such a great insight. Also, do join us for tomorrow webinar that is on Nifty 50 at 12 p.m. in our YouTube channel. Thank you so much.